Well, hello guys, great to see you again. Welcome back to John's Patch, and it is going to be a little bit different today. For those, because I looked on a thing called analytics on YouTube, and I'm just sort of getting used to how all this works. And I noticed the people that watch these videos, there's I think 36% live locally in Guernsey. There's about 6% who live in the UK, but it doesn't tell me who the others are. So later today we're going to have a special event. We're going to have a solar eclipse. So just to sort of change things up a little bit, I'll take you with me. Min and I are going to be going out to the other end of the island. I live up north, not far from Bordeaux Harbour. We're going to go on the west coast. First things first, I'm going to syringe the tomatoes. I know there's a train of thought. People say, oh, don't wet plants in the day, don't wet the leaves. I'm not breaking the rules for the sake of breaking the rules. I've just found that giving them a good hard spray with the hose actually helps set the flowers. Or should I say, I've never had any problems when I've sprayed them really hard with the hose and knocked the flowers about and sent the pollen flying. It's never done them any harm, and my setting has always been good. So that's the way I do it. I'm not doing it just to flout the rules. It's what works for me. So that's going to be my first job. Oh guys, it's just so hard to start work when you're surrounded by fruit and not grab something off a tree. Another lovely Victoria plum. Hopefully you'll notice a difference in the audio today. We thought we had it all sussed yesterday, and I had help. I'll tell you what, gardening is so much easier and forgiving than using tech. Apparently this mic, it's called a DJI, whatever that is, and the camera I've been lent is a GoPro, and they don't talk to each other. So although they all plug in, and to look at them you think everything's great, you press the button, the light comes on, the equalizer dances around, it doesn't mean it's working. I didn't realise somebody watching yesterday, when I thought it had been successful, said, no, that's not working, because when you move the tripod I can hear the camera making a noise. Shouldn't do that. Anyway, I apparently needed, what was it, a media, or I don't know, something like a media mate or something, or another piece to make them both talk to each other. So what we'll do, we'll do some mundane work today. We'll have a little look around. I had family round this morning, so I'll pick the beans, but there'll probably be a few left. We'll check on the pumpkins, have a look at how the watering went last night, and yeah, get some weeding done. Not the most interesting job, but necessary and very rewarding when it's finished. What a mess. I don't particularly, when I'm eating my rocket with my tea this evening, I don't particularly want to be eating fat hen and whatever else is growing in there. Well, it's not getting the job done just looking and talking about it. Let's get my mate, the old Guernsey weeder. As I've said before, I wouldn't want to be without this. I'll go into it in more detail, but yeah, I've abused this one. That's why he's a bit cockeyed. You see, nothing lines up. But square edge, really useful. And if you understand engines a bit, you'll know what torque is. That's with a QU. It's your sort of twisting power. So how much energy you can generate by twisting like that. Now, if you've got your standard trowel thing that many people buy because that's all people know about, it's a straight handle. So you've got no torque, you've got no energy, excessive energy to turn it when you're digging. By putting this very clever angle on it, the amount of power generated when you turn it like that is something else. In fact, it's so good. That's why mine's all twisted, look. But that's me being a bit brutal. So, let's begin here. Can you imagine if I was using a trowel, I'd have that shape. Well, that's no good, because in the middle, I'd dig an inch deep, and on the edge, I wouldn't dig in at all. Flat blade. Look at how much I can take out, you know, in a short space of time. And I mean, you've got to make allowances for my eyes that I'm probably putting it a bit in the wrong place as well. And it's effortless, you know, it just glides along. Now, they are expensive, I get that, but you get what you pay for. This is a handmade tool. Somebody locally takes, I believe it's old bandsaw blades that are no longer of any use, and they use those to get the lovely spring. You know, this has got a bit of flex. It's not like a rigid piece of stainless or something. And it's got that feel, you know, like a really old 5-prong fork that you can caress the soil with. This has got that same sort of feel. It's a real, it's a craftsman's tool, you know. It is not a trowel. You can't compare the two. So, yes, it might set you back, I don't know, 1/10 of your pension, but it's worth it, you know. Well, to me it is anyway. I could not use a trowel. Honestly, if all I had was a trowel, I'd pull this all out by hand. In fact, I don't even own a trowel. That's how much I think of them. Now, of course, I will have to go by hand on my next row, because with my lack of vision, I'm going to end up pulling out plants or skimming through their roots. I can feel chives tickling me there. So this next bit is going to be slow. Let's just bring the camera in a tad. Yeah, so this is, for me, this is quite difficult. Not difficult as in hard to do. It's just navigating my way round. I've got to feel, you know, the stem and think, well, does that feel like a chive? No, it doesn't. It's a bit too hard, so I can pull that out. That's laying too low. Yeah, I do make mistakes, but generally speaking, I get away not too bad. But it does mean it's a bit of a slow process. And there's a stinger, but the thing is, if you grab it tight, they don't seem to sting you most of the time. Ah, there's my sepos I can feel there. Now this will be easier because it's parsley and it's planted in a bunch, so I will be able to feel that a lot easier. Now, it's funny now I'm doing this because people come up to the farm and they say, "Are you vlogging?" They don't know whether they can shout out hello or not. And I've just heard my wife creeping behind me on the gravel. What are you up to, Tron? Oh, right. So, Min is picking up pears for making a fruit salad for watching the eclipse tonight. Let's turn this around. Oh no, she's off.
Just picking some of the four-wheelers so they don't get wasted.
Good job. Yeah, that'll be nice. And then I would expect later on she'll be, well, the cucumber that you saw yesterday, I think probably that one will be used for the salad. I think we've got Guernsey crab for our tea, which will be very nice. And yeah, love rocket. It's just, I don't know, I find lettuce can be a little bit bland sometimes. I mean, it's all right, but it's a bit more bland than rocket is. Ah, talking of which, I think that's just rocket that I've pulled up. Your eyes are better than mine. Is that rocket? I believe so. Never mind. There's plenty left. Oh, I know I can't stop going on about it, but to feel this lovely damp soil that was watered at 1 o'clock this morning, absolutely brilliant. I don't know, I think probably we take water for granted a bit. You just turn the tap and it comes on, and when you've had a prolonged dry spell like this, yeah, one is so grateful to see lovely moist. Now, can I pull that? No, I thought, now you see, I noticed a different texture, so I didn't pull, and there is thyme in there. I don't know if you can see that. Let me clear around it. You see that thyme there? It's high time. High time it was weeded, that's one thing. I don't know, thyme, that reminds me of nice winter stews and soups. Yeah, not really something that we would use a huge amount in the summer, but later on, oh yes. Right, I'm not going to bore you with watching me weeding. That doesn't interest anybody, so I'm going to turn off, and then we'll have a look when I've done a bit more, say half an hour's time. Stingers. More stingers. Come on. Whoop. Yep, it's good. I didn't think sage could sting. Really, I don't need half this, even a quarter of this sage. You know, it's a powerful thing. You just don't need that much. But a bit like my same old ill-disciplined problem, I get a packet of seed and I sow about a quarter of it, and I think, oh, I'll just put that in and I've got it now. But it's really never needed. We get spoilt growing our own things, you know. You wouldn't go to a supermarket and want 6 carrots and buy 20, but when you grow your own, that's what tends to happen. In fact, this parsley is running a bit rampant, so I shall just prune a bit of that back. I don't know if any of you have ever had this, but I think parsley can actually be affected by carrot root fly. And if that's the case, me cutting it like this is going to release the smell and possibly give me problems later on. We'll see. Yep, that's clean under there. Before, these butternut squash, can't remember the variety, they might have been Waltham butternut, possibly. Yeah, I grew them and I just didn't have anywhere to put them, so I jammed them in far too close, way too close. I mean, they're probably, I don't know, 18 inches apart. That's ridiculous. And I think I put 5 plants all like that because that's the only tiny square that I had left. But the problem is, as you can see now, there's nowhere for them to ramble. Let me just move this. Can you see that there? There's a little one coming behind that flower. The male flowers are further back down the stem. Oh, there's another one there, look. So we will get a crop, even though I've grown them very, very badly. I mean, that's a bit embarrassing, but needs must. And I can see another one shining through over there. So we will get some, and it's safe throwing them away. Just one thing, when I say, because I had a mail this morning saying, sometimes you say, can you see this on the camera? Well, that's because the GoPro's got a very small screen, and when the sun's shining, I can't see anything. I fixed it this morning so that it's got a beeper when it's on and another beeper when it goes off, which helps me to know what I'm doing. But this guy said, if you're watching these vlogs on a phone and I'm showing something like a little embryonic fruit and you can't actually see it clearly, you can actually enlarge the video by tapping on your screen on your phone, well, on his phone at any rate. You just tap on it and then sort of spread your fingers while touching the screen, and apparently he was able to see the tomato shoots that I was talking about yesterday. Right, that's enough waffle, back to work. So one thing that I'm going to do now, I'm going to pin the sepos down to the ground. To do that, I need lots of these lengths of wire, and I thought, well, that will mean cutting each one with pliers. But then this very solid piece of kit has been left around on the farm for years. I mean, over 100 years, as you can see. And with a little bit of marine lube, it actually started to move. And so yesterday, these teeth here, it was just a case of pushing the wire through, scrunching it with the handle and cutting, I don't know, 8, 10 at a time. Good piece of kit. Not the latest model, but it works. We just bend the wire like that, and then we're ready to pin that over the hose so it's not tripped over.
In the garden patch, I kept my faith alive.
Now the next thing is just to straighten these out a touch.
Wind tore at the fence, storm-tested greenhouse glass. I watched the small green shoots, well-rooted, standing. Seeds of hope I planted, and they will bloom again. Still growing, still grateful, I can feel it in my veins. Seeds of hope I planted, and they will bloom again.
So, what do you think? Has it grown since yesterday? I don't know. Let's have a look at the others. This one came much later, but it's a fair old size, and it's the right colour that it can still grow some more. This one might surpass the one that I had lined up for the show. I mentioned yesterday in the vlog that I used radishes to mark out my rows. This is one such radish. So he was put, you know, every couple of feet in a row of beetroots to mark out where the row was going to come up. And yeah, he's escaped and just kept going. Needless to say, I won't be having that one with my crab salad tonight. Well guys, that's it. I'm just about done in. I don't know what the temperature is here in Guernsey today. It must be 30 or low 30s. It's very warm and humid, and I'm pretty done in, so I'm going to call it a day for outdoor work. But that's tidied up that end, and then this, yeah, should be clean because I only just sowed it a few days ago with you. And then my beetroots, well, one thing I must do, because the beetroots aren't on the drip line. Well, in fact, let's take a closer look. See the difference, how sad they look? You know, and these were not, well, they were neglected because they're looking like that, but they were watered in the last couple of days with a hose. But that quiet drip, if you look at the plants over there, is, no issues there. These, that was watered on the seep hose, as were the beans. So just before I go in, I'm going to give these a water with the hose. Well guys, another day done. It's been fairly productive, although I have to say I was more sapped of strength today than I have been for a little while. It was really warm, but Min and I have just come back from Plymouth Point, where we watched the eclipse And although the filming of that was a little bit of a game because of having to hold various filters over the lens, etc., I'll put a few clips up and yeah, take a look. Interesting, because I won't see another one, not unless I live till 200 and something. But very interesting to see. Didn't go as dark as what I expected. Just a sort of eerie, shadowy sort of feeling around where we were. Lovely place, out on the cliffs. Very pleasant. And of course we had a nice Guernsey feed, one that we wouldn't usually have. Crab rolls and salad and fruit salad as well. Lovely. So guys, thank you for watching. Please come back if you're interested in watching how things grow on the patch. It's your patch as much as mine, and we can enjoy it together. I have no idea what tomorrow holds, but we'll see. There's bound to be something going on. If you do enjoy watching, please consider subscribing, because I'm told it helps. I don't know how, but that's what everybody says. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment or something. I learnt that from my granddaughter. I don't know why, but that's what everybody says. Have a good night, guys.
Bloom again.